discount him entirely for the long haul, but I think for right now, the core JJ experiment needs to go on hiatus. Play Jin into Gragas. They may want to wait on that one, but Jin has shown up as, especially for KT and the Tigers, as a very important pick here in Korea in more recent times.
Yeah, just last night we saw Prey absolutely destroying people on that Jin.
It's great. Really good games. And the way that KT and the Tigers have been using that Jin has been with the Youmuu's Duskblade build, which means that you're very far out and zoning or providing initiation with a curtain call.
Yeah.
Which does make him viable, I suppose, into the Gragas, because he's not going to be in range of Gragas' abilities, at least at the start of the fight when you would be using the explosive cast.
Yeah, ideally. So it's going to be Swain and Braum locked in for ESC Ever.
Now, the Sivir means that probably the Kalista is going to be coming back for ESC. Last time, in the last game, Samsung shied away from the Sivir after they saw the Kalista pickup. Could be the Lucian too, another strong laner up against the Sivir. And this actually will be Crown's first LeBlanc game of the season. Now, he, in the past, has been a very good LeBlanc player. We stretch back our memories to spring, where he had some solid performances. Got quite a few solo kills, actually.
Maybe the Ezreal for Loken. I think that would be fine, too. You kind of skirt around the outside of the fight and fire in Mystic shots while Swain and Azir mix it up.
Problem for ESC is that they have no engage. So, great at kiting if they can force engagements where Samsung wants to engage onto them, but poor overall when we talk about methods at which they can engage. Either Temp's going to have to go in with that Azir sec. You saw that little video package, the off the record, where he sort of messed up and accidentally found himself in the Dragon Pit when everybody else was escaping and contributed a kill over to the enemy team. And they are, in fact, going to go with the Ezreal here. Great, again, great composition when it comes to kiting, but you have to have that objective priority because if they find themselves attempting to stop Samsung from doing a Drake or doing a Baron, they will not have an easy time. Flash on Burrow, fancy Azir ultimates, or a Flash Glacial Fissure is about all they've got to work with, and Samsung will be quite happy to kite them out with a Sivir ult and a Tidal Wave.
I would say so.
Great disengage from the Gragas too. ESC is going to have a very tough time unless they smash the laning phase of actually team-fighting Samsung in the mid to late game.
Well, Samsung with a definite chance to turn things around here now that Wraith is back in again. Everything seems a bit more stable, so we'll see if it pays off. This could definitely go to game 3, though.
Yeah, definitely could. I also question the continuing fascination with Swain in the top lane. I don't think that he is anywhere near as powerful as he used to be, given the suite of nerfs that he received.
They just want the bird lanes, man. Swain in his ear. Birds in the solo lanes.
Well, maybe Samsung will kill 2 birds with 1 stone in this game.
Maybe.
Although they don't have a Malphite, so I guess that's not going to happen.
With 1 barrel. That's what we meant. 2 birds with a barrel. Sounds good. Let's get to game 2. Let's see if Samsung can tie things up. And welcome to Summoner's Rift, where Mountain Drake, once again, is our first Drake of the game in Samsung versus ESC ever. ESC, 1 game up in this series. Kind of a messy game, but a game where Samsung just looked dead. You know, they just looked like they weren't even there.
Yeah, they weren't.
It was bizarre. It was weird to see. But now with Wraith back in the lineup, maybe we'll see a bit of a revitalized Samsung here in game 2.
Especially on Nami, which has probably been his best champion this season.
Yeah.
Absolutely excellent use of the bubble to create picks. They're going to be fighting a little bit here around some of these wards in the river.
Ward did not survive.
Yep. Double TP too for Samsung, so they have a very strong pick composition, easily able to find people and collapse quickly with either the distortion as LeBlanc jets around the map, or with the 2 teleports.
Very true. And so, we had standard lanes last game, but it doesn't look like this time around. Bubble onto Loken, but he responds with that nice Mystic shot. That's going to take a chunk out of Wraith, but you've got a lot of sustain on the Nami, so it's really no big deal. Crown taking a lot of minion damage there.
It's early poking from both mid laners, and we'll get to see the standard lanes here. Swain going to be a little bit of a nuisance for this Shen. Of course, with those AP top laners, if you end up in that 1v1 for a prolonged period of time, it does delay Shen's ability to control the wave with the Sunfire Cape, because he will have to build magic resist to start off this game, and there's that dodge field going to do effectively nothing against Swain.
Yeah.
It's definitely a strong pick in the laning phase, but when it comes to actual presence on the map, the Shen is going to be substantially stronger the longer this game drags on, which is why it's so important for ESC to really press an early advantage.
Interesting to see the bubble first on Wraith on that Nami. I've seen a lot of people prefer ebb and flow for the better poke and the better sustain. So.
Yeah, especially with facing an Ezreal Braum, but
yeah,
interesting choice.
You know, now that they're down a level too, that just makes it even harder to fight back in this lane.
Plus going to be going with a very early invade here.
Wraith's in a lot of trouble, man. He's going to have to burn a flash at least. Gets exhausted, flash over the wall. Bless follows, going for that first blood. A lot of minions there, though, to block. And Bless may have burned that summoner for nothing.
That was very aggressive when he seemed to be aware that there was going to be an attempt on to the Gromp there, and Key already in the jungle to help out, so you can stack up those Braum passive stacks very quickly with the Rek'Sai Q. Had to go ahead and burn both of his summoners. Pretty big advantage. And speaking of just wrecking the laning phase, Doa, this could be it.
Yep. Seems that way so far. Here comes an attempt from Ambition, but no, Temp sees it right away. No danger there. So how does Shen do against Swain, I wonder?
Not well.
Are you kidding me, man? He's up 3 CS.
Well, Crazy was actually just dealt a lot of chip damage to the turret, pushed that big minion wave in, and
Yeah.
that's going to be the story here. Shen.
Especially once Swain hits level 6 and gets all that healing from his ultimate too. It's going to be hard to go toe-to-toe with him, or toe-to birdfoot, toe-to claw, I guess.
Toe to claw
Yep.
with Swain. I don't know what skin this is. He's got a parrot though. Is there like pirate Swain?
Apparently. Kind of seems like a piratey type.
Peg leg.
Yeah. Is that the only requirement of being a pirate?
I think it's definitely a strong indicator.
That's right. Plus, not wanting to tangle with the Gragas, I suppose, by the Raptor pit. Crazy just TP's back down to bot to avoid missing any more minions than he has to. And will Bless come in to try something here? It's going to be tough with Ambition there already. So I don't think so.
It's Bless trying to make opportunities right now to take a stab at the blue buff, and they're actually going to hand this blue buff over. I really like Bless's pathing to increase the amount of pressure in this early game. Even in standard lanes, we wouldn't normally see an invade like that, but it turned out to be very successful. As you were noticing, Doa, simply because ESC was able to get that early level advantage, and they translated that into an invade that took out a couple summoners. So ESC looking much more proactive, and I think this is what was missing from ESC's play after their first best of 3 against CJ, where they looked really aggressive and really crisp. Is that they lost their way, weren't playing the same high-tempo style that we had come to appreciate from them when they were at their best.
Yeah.
They don't do well when they have to be reactive. And we are going to see both dual lanes now heading into the bottom, nobody wanting to get caught unaware and accidentally give up a free Mountain Drake. One team was able to swap down their push first, then that was a real danger, but after this first buy. We're just going back. Ruler going with a Cull since he is in a tier matchup. Cull tier from Loken, that is really greedy.
Yeah, it's working so far though. Crown doing a lot of damage to Tempt. That's going to be annoying to deal with. He's still got, he just used his last charge of his Corrupting Potion. So he'll probably have to go back at some point in the future.
Yeah, interesting that both laners went for the refillable potion and the 2 Doran rings. So really a battle for early game lane dominance here. Samsung going to try and use the pitiful wave clear to deal with this. Ambition coming in.
Yeah, getting aggressive now. Key could be in a little bit of trouble. Crown trying to collapse on him too. Nice bubble from Wraith. That's going to set it up. Key has that flash, but can't use it in time. And First Blood goes over to Crown.
Yep, very smooth play from Samsung. A bit, I think, of a reach to go for the Ezreal with a flash up if you're Ambition. But considering that the Stand United was channeled well in between the turrets, they still were able to cut Key off and finish off that kill.
Whoa, Tempt going aggressive. Misses, though, at the Emperor's Divide. Gets the flash on a Crown.
And he knew Crown's ult and W were down right there.
Yep.
So was able to come in and force a summoner spell out. Good play by Tempt.
So does Swain? I didn't catch it right there. Does he turn into a giant parrot with this skin?
Does he?
I like. Oh yeah, kind of.
Swain wants a cracker.
Yeah. Swain wants your soul. It's kind of scary, the idea of a giant parrot. I bet they'd be mean. Parrots are mean sometimes.
They are. They get bitey.
Not pirate parrots.
Really? You think pirate parrots are the nice ones?
Yeah, they're just better trained, you know?
better trained to attack the eyes of their enemy in a boarding action.
Right, exactly. But they don't go after their owner, you know?
It would be really annoying to have a parrot in your face.
If you were a pirate, what pet would you have? Because you can go with the parrot, you can also go with the monkey as well. What animal would you go with?
So those are my choices.
Well, no, I mean, you can really pick anything, I suppose, but I think monkey and parrot are the most popular.
The most popular among pirates?
I mean, you could go with a giraffe, I guess, but kind of hard to fit that on a pirate ship. You see, like attach one of the sails to his neck or something.
I'd go with an armadillo, so I can go armadillo.
That's perfect. I'd go with a sloth. Just kind of hang out like a backpack, sort of.
Yeah, that's actually, they could be on the rigging.
Yeah, you can like swing around, but not too fast. He's like a steadying. He provides like a steadying, chilled out vibe to the pirate ship. You know, things get a bit heated on a pirate ship from time to time, what with the mutinies and all. So it's nice to have a sloth around to kind of cool everybody down. I mean, nobody can get angry when there's like an adorable sloth just like chilling out.
In the crow's nest.
Yeah, or wherever he wants to be, man. He's not going to cause any trouble.
Yes, it seems like a sailing ship would be a pretty great place for a sloth.
Yeah, I agree.
Lots of vertical space.
So I'd go with that. You know, people talk about what their spirit animal is, but they really should be talking about what's your pirate animal. That's way more interesting. Sloth is my pirate animal.
Well, back to glorious laning phase.
Ah, yes. The lane, where CS is farmed and lost.
And Ambition comes around for another gank, but they're going to see him because he takes out a tunnel. And then they're going to go for the enemy blue buff. But Rek'Sai's there.
Key trying to set up that stun on the Wraith. Here comes Bless. He's in. Gets exhausted right away. Teleport coming down, though, for ESC Ever. Bless flashes, tries to go on the Wraith. Crazy is there. Loken throwing a lot of damage in from the side. The Grog Assault appears. Wraith actually picks up the first kill of that fight. And Crazy, both Crazy and Tempt having to flash away. Loken tries to take out Ambition as he gets caught up a bit on the blue buff. Loken very low. And there's a kill for Kube. He got flashy dashed to death.
Yeah, we did see Crown there try and predict an E over the wall with the chains, but it
Wasn't a bad attempt.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad attempt right there. Logan didn't have his flash available or his arcane shift apparently, so got boxed in. But that kind of play, Doa, this is what we see when Wraith is in the game.
Exactly.
Look, Ruler comes over. This is what I'm talking about when I say that Wraith and Ruler have learned to play around Ambition. So it's a pretty deep attempt here at the blue buff, but the AD carry and the support are there to help set this up. And that's the big difference. Here's the activity that we see taking hold, and you know, whether it's Wraith telling Ruler to come over and do that, but this is an example of how Samsung has been playing around the tendencies of Ambition to want to go into the enemy jungle deep, and they have used Wraith and Ruler really well to make it an advantageous fight, and they've been good at winning these kind of skirmishes this season. And I think that right there, that one play is the Core JJ versus Wraith difference in a nutshell.
I think you're absolutely right. I think the reason that this team went 4-0 in their first 4 matches was because Ambition's always going to go deep into the enemy jungle, you know, whenever he feels like it. But when you've got Wraith and Ruler on the team, specifically Wraith, you can have that call to be like, all right, let's go save him and make some plays.
Well, they had the Shen coming in with the TP too, so just everything's set up there around the blue buff invade attempt. It worked out very well for Samsung.
Sure did. And Ever finds himself behind a little bit, maybe a little bit more, as Temp thrown back into the lane by that explosive cast. Gets out though for the moment. Nice escape indeed. Oh, tidal wave comes through, followed by that bubble, and Wraith again making the play to set up yet another kill for Samsung.
Crown's not done yet. He is
He's looking for one.
On the hunt, but no, he will just distort back into the mid lane, not finding Tempt in a poor location.
You can't say on the hunt when there's a Sivir in the game unless you're talking about on the hunt.
Okay.
Sorry.
I guess I'm banned then.
Yep. Banned. Yes, you are.
For different reasons, though.
There you go. You said it, man. It wasn't me. Ambition, where's your team now? It doesn't matter. He can body slam over the wall. That doesn't make sense, but it works.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. There's no slamming involved.
No.
It's more like the Kool-Aid Man body slam, I suppose, where he can
Oh,
go
yeah.
through walls. He just, oh yeah, is his way
It's true.
through the
Needs to be-
terrain.
Why is there not a Kool-Aid Man grog?
I
in
don't
this game
know.
yet? He could drink himself.
I know.
With his W. Think Kool-Aid Man ever does that? It's
Take
like
a sip.
reaches up and like dips a cup in his Kool-Aid and drinks it.
It's kind of like drinking your own blood.
Is that weird? I guess.
Do vampires do that?
I don't know. I mean, if a vampire was starving, could he drink his own blood to sate his thirst for blood? Maybe. I haven't watched enough of those Twilight movies to know. They're the authority on vampires, so.
Vampires didn't really exist before Twilight, I think.
Yeah, she invented those, I'm pretty sure. And man-wolves, that's what they're called, I think? Yeah. She invented the man-wolf. Not to be confused with the man-wolf, the support player of SKT. Need a comma there.
All right, well, it's back to some fun in the top lane. Interesting that ESC is actually matching the top lane right now with the Mountain Drake still available and untouched this game. One of the teams could have had an opportunity, but to actually just take it. But instead, Samsung more interested in picking up a turret. Cuvée will deal the final tiny amount of damage to the bottom side.
Well, the top one down to about half health too, so possibly a pretty good target for Samsung moving forward.
Yeah, Samsung may have just figured that Cuvée was going to be able to take out that turret, and so they're trying to accelerate the turret pace of this game.
Yeah.
Considering how low the bottom one was, Cuvée able to get that, and then Ruler, because of the faster switch, he and Wraith were able to get a lot of chip damage down on that first minion wave, so they take out 2 in quick succession, and it works out to a very healthy gold lead for Samsung.
Yeah, specifically for Ruler too. Not to mention, he got that gold from the tower, but he also has the gold from being about 30 CS up on his lane opponent too.
Well, Loken did build Tier Cull. That was
Yeah.
really, really greedy, and
Yeah, he
then
did.
they tried to fight with Tier Cull. Don't think you do that.
I mean, the funny thing is that they had that little edge lane early on. And rather than pressing that, you kind of just went super greedy.
Yeah, look, Tempt also, just as a side note, has gone for the Berserker Greaves on the Azir, so using the buffed Berserker Greaves, giving you a little bit more attack speed to help out with his damage.
Yep, we've been seeing that a bit more lately.
It's been a new adjustment for many Azir players.
Kind of wasted on Azir though, because he never actually does any fighting himself.
No, he sort of just flies into the fight.
Yeah.
He does his
Well-
own fighting. He has auto attack. He has a ranged auto attack that he like zaps people with his
I
zap.
suppose. But he never actually physically touches anyone.
Well, why would he? He's an emperor.
Yeah, he doesn't need to touch any of those filthy peasants.
Exactly.
He has other birds to do that for him.
Be honest, Doa. If you had the option not to touch filthy peasants, wouldn't you take that option?
Well, I was having a conversation with the High Sparrow, and he was like, you really got to be nice to the filthy peasants. And I'm like, well, you're going to throw me in a dungeon if I don't, so okay. Sure. Sounds good.
I would have just gotten in the dungeon.
I know you would. Yeah. Don't worry, I would have come and rescued you.
Before my walk of shame.
That's right. Nobody needs to see that. I try to help it. I'm there for you. Although I admit it might be kind of fun to be the person who just says shame over and over again.
Whatever. I don't actually find it that shameful, so.
Well, I mean, go for it then. That could end up on the internet, though. I'll warn you. Chance. Looks like the Mountain Drake finally going over to Samsung. But they have really faced pretty much no opposition in this game from ESC ever, so surprising. It's a pretty big gold lead. A little over 4K now in 18 minutes for Samsung.
Yeah,
A very different game, and there's one major factor here that may have contributed to it, and that factor's name is Wraith.
Samsung, of course, there are many factors, and their composition game number one, the lack of getting Aurelia rolling, Ambition's sort of suspect jungle pathing, these all contributed to the loss, but definitely you can see that playing around Ambition is easier when Wraith is present in the game.
I mean, they really do look like a different team.
Yes, they do.
Again.
And that has been the story of every single Core JJ game so
Yeah.
far.
Wraith 2016. Support you can believe in.
Making Samsung great again.
He'll support you. Yeah. Make Samsung great again. That's right.
The Wraith slogan.
That's right. For now, though, a bit of a lull in the action as ESC tries to figure out a way to grab that mid lane tier 1.
Lull is Twitch chat's new favorite word.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I ask Twitch chat. They're just lulling all over the place these days.
I'll have to.
It's
I'll
not
have to check
lol
it out during the
anymore.
break.
It's lull.
Lull.
L-U-L. Next is going to be lel. L-E-L.
See it? And Lil. Only it'd be L-Y-L, just to be ironic. Lol. L-A-L.
It's probably L-A-W-L.
We just made that meme so uncool, nobody's ever going to use it
Yes,
again.
we did it, Doe. We ruined a meme.
Mission accomplished. Meme wreckers. That's right.
I love being a meme wrecker.
We gave it an extreme makeover. No.
Lol.
Lol. Lol.
Well,
Oh.
Samsung. Oh,
Ooh.
nice. Nice little takeaway there.
Got the Krug.
Cuvée just scooting in.
Forgot his sword though. Hey, oh, there he is.
Well, basically nowhere to go right now for Samsung besides put the Sivir into the mid lane. But this is where you want to execute your 1-3-1. If you're Samsung, you got a nice fed LeBlanc to pick off people inside lanes. Got a Morello Namicon to cut down the healing. and
Such
that-
as Temp. Man, a lot of damage onto him. He gets hit with the Aqua Prison. Somehow they escape with their life, but that turret is not long for this world.
Notice that they took nearly no damage in that little attempt at a pick. Temp gonna heal up and then jet out. Here past the Nexus, and this is a great pressure game coming through.
All right, Sivir ultimate used. They're gonna try to make a play here. Gragas goes in with the Sand United on top of him. There's a taunt on the Crazy. Rise, the tidal wave comes through, blocked though by the Braum. Exhaust onto Vision as he tries to back away. Exhaust onto Bless too. Both junglers not able to do quite as much damage, and ESC actually pushing Samsung back for the moment anyway.
Yeah, I don't think you should dive ESC's composition with the Azir, the Ezreal, and the Swain. It's not going to work. I thought they were just popping the Sivir ult to zone them off the turret, but they committed to it. The Ambition going between the turrets with the Stand United on him.
Oh, Tempt on the Loken barely gets out with that arcane shift, and Kuvey just gets blown up.
Yeah, you can't engage into them. Just go ahead, take the objective, and force them to engage
Crown
into
over
you.
the wall onto Crazy. Crazy forced to flash away on that Swain. Loken throwing in some damage from the Mystic shot. Ruler decides he wants to take damage too, and he walks into range of Tempt.
Samsung really just playing into ESC's hands. They could have just taken that turret and walked away. Instead, the overcommitment is going to cost them a mid lane turret of their own. And, oh, maybe not quite. Not quite.
Nearly. I mean, Ever is so low right now health-wise that they need to go back and heal up, it seems like. Next Dragon in about a minute 20, so we'll see what comes out of that.
Yeah, and that's where Samsung wants to fight. What you want to do if you're Samsung is not engage into their excellent kite composition. Force them to engage you instead. Loken here does get the taunt off, but it was during the arcane shift animation, so Loken escapes relatively unscathed and had made a very smart play on the Crown later on to force him back and prevent Crown from picking anybody else off.
Yeah. Well,
But yes, from now on, Samsung, just show up first for the Drake. You have a big gold advantage. Play around the Baron. Make ESC with their horrible engage, attempt to stop you from doing that, and don't just dive them under turrets. This is a composition you cannot dive. Good luck, Braum, Ezreal, Azir, Swain. Just don't walk next to them. That's where they want you.
so with ESC, is it their priority then to get onto the Dragon as fast as they can, so they have to force Samsung to try to engage?
Yeah, that would be ideal, but the problem is when you're this far behind, when you've already lost your outer ring of turrets, how do you poke up to get the vision? Samsung can dominate the jungle right now and the minion wave pressure onto ESC Ever's side of the map.
Oh, they're not exactly dominating the jungle yet.
Well, it's just so dangerous for Bless to walk into the river right now.
Oh, Infernal Drake too. This is a big one, and Samsung is starting it off. See if they can take it. Looks like they probably can. Yeah, just giving that one away, and that's a big one to give away if you're ESC Ever.
Well, they can't do anything. Again, they were worried about Cuvee, who stepped into the river. Swain did discover him with a pink ward and forced Cuvee to back off a little bit further, but they were prepping for Stand United, and Crazy wasn't going to be in position to actually get the never move down.
Yeah.
Which is really a big misnomer because you can move like a second and a half later. It's not really a never move at all. It's like
move for a little while and then stop for a moment. Slightly impede just doesn't sound like as good of a skill name, you know?
especially when you have a Raven-based hero.
Yeah.
Just gotta force that.
You sure do.
Just force us to
just
jam
gotta-
that Edgar Allan Poe in there.
You just gotta rat-a-tat that right in there, don't you?
You do. Just jam it right in.
Yep. Get it? Because he's a bird.
He's a Raven. He
Bird's
has
a Raven.
so no never move, I guess.
It's true. Sometimes use an orange Raven. Kind of a... I feel like they got a little bit lazy with that one. They should have made it a pirate.
It really is
Or
ugly.
they should have made it a, you know, a parrot head.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe pirates have orange ravens in Runeterra.
Maybe. Who knows? It's a magical land. Your only limitations are your own imagination and Riot's design team. But they have imaginations themselves.
They imagine the
Do whatever they want.
they imagine the orange raven. It's pretty creative.
They imagined a world where ninjas are not subtle at all. That's a bold, thematic decision to make. They made it. More power to them.
Kennen just creating giant flashing fields of electricity everywhere.
Like rodents tend to do. I mean, haven't you watched Pokemon?
Kind of sad that Zed is probably the only good ninja. I suppose Akali's okay.
Well, Zed's a great ninja. He's just not a good person. But that kind of goes for a lot of ninjas, I would think.
I don't think there are many good people that end up as shadowy assassins.
Probably not. Yeah, I haven't met a lot.
Something tells me that if you are a good person, that's probably not your first calling
You're like,
as a career.
that's right. You help like a cute old lady with her groceries, and then you're like, well, I gotta go kill someone because somebody paid me to do it. I'll see you later.
Or your daimyo told you to do it, who knows.
That's true. That's also an option. Crown's pushing the spot lane. And the pressure slowly but surely mounting on ESC Ever. So I feel like you're kind of backed into a corner if you're Ever. You can't really fight. I mean, your opponent has that Infernal Drake, and with the Mountain Drake, they're going to be doing even more damage to turrets. Crown goes in for a bit of damage onto Key.
They can hope that Samsung decides to tower dive them instead of 1-3-1 split pushing them
There's that.
into oblivion.
Yes.
That's about all the hope that ESC has left, but
It's
they
not much
were the
hope.
ones who picked this composition and then fell behind with it.
True.
They wanted to get that lane counter with the Swain, and it just hasn't worked out.
All right. Maybe a plan to ambition, Sivir Ultimate used just to try to get Samsung away.
There's no engage. What are you going to do? All right, so you made a play, but you're going to lose your top lane tier 2 eventually.
Go, Shen, go. You can do it.
He looks so sad slashing away at that stone turret.
Death by 1,000 cuts. Yep. It's just one of those like martial arts exercises that looks like you're doing a lot of like a mundane thing a ton of times, but it turns you into like a super warrior, you know?
I'm pretty
like,
sure that's what happens in Korean team houses for League of Legends.
You must cut down this redwood tree with a toothpick. Wood must overcome wood, but a really tiny piece of wood must overcome a bigger one.
Teaches you a lot about life.
There you go, yeah. Enough time. No, he probably still can't do that.
Well, they got one tier 2 turret in all of that, Samsung, but
Yep.
they'll be able to fall back and go for this Baron now, pretty much do whatever they want on the map. Do you see what the next Drake is? I did not catch it.
I did not. No. Gonna find out in 1 minute or less.
Well, another aspect of the early Mountain and Infernal Drake for Samsung has been that Crazy and Loken really needed to scale with that Rod of Ages in the tier, and getting a couple very powerful Drakes in the early game certainly paying off for Samsung, who are much more capable of fighting early with the Shen, the LeBlanc in particular,
Yeah.
and not picking up so many scaling items. And that's one of the risks of going for scaling compositions in the current meta, is that you can give up some very powerful early Drakes if you go too hard into the scaling route.
We haven't seen the Cloud Drake all day, too. It's like the game knows how strong it is now, and they're just
It's got to be hit.
avoiding it.
It's been
Yeah.
taken out of the game. Too
right.
strong.
Powerful. It's a Mountain Drake. All right. That'd be another great pickup for Samsung.
Yeah, it'd be really quite good for them when it comes to executing their split push.
Round with a bit of damage blocked by Key. Dragon's up, though. This is it. I feel like if ESC can't stop this dragon from being taken, there's not much hope for them.
I don't think there's hope for them even if they do take the dragon.
But there's really no hope for them if they can't do this. Extra no hope.
There's a bit of a skirmish going down in the top side.
Call that, yeah, I suppose.
Never move used, so we can't interrupt the Shen ultimate for the next little bit. Samsung just being methodical about this, pushing up. They really should not dive this turret. They should go back and take the Drake.
Okay, they're going to dive the turret. Ambition comes in, double body slam, tidal wave as well. It's a good engage for Samsung, actually. ESC, though, maybe they've been able to turn it around. Temp did not die, actually. The turret does go down. And Ever trying to chase as much as they can. Crazy TP'd.
They have an 8,000 gold lead, but that's how good ESC's composition is underneath turrets.
Yeah.
They can't actually pick up a kill.
Well, they lost the turret, though.
They did lose the turret, but I disagree with Samsung's decision-making twice now to try and actually dive these turrets with the Ambition Cuvée combo. Easier ways for them to win this game.
Well, they will get the Mountain Drake in the end, so. Could have been worse. Could have been better.
They also force out the TP from Crazy, which is a nice bonus. So now they have 2 TPs to none with double Mountain Drake. However, only 1 tier 2 remaining, so it's unlikely they're going to find an opportunity to crack the base without actually picking up the Baron buff first.
Well, Temp's going to get the first turret of the game from the ESC Ever side anyway.
Yeah, they've already sent Cuvée into the bottom where he needs to be, so as soon as we see the recalls coming in from Samsung and they have a chance to shop up, they should have a very nice opportunity to push in the top and mid waves and start baiting the Baron.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ever just trying to get as much out of their jungle as they can before Samsung comes back. But you can only do so much. Wait for it. All right, Baron time for Samsung. Zoning from Crown on the back of the pit. Ever is there, but Crazy has to walk all the way up. They're going to abandon it for the moment, though.
It's clearing out a big
Oh, on
floor.
Ambition. Nearly stunned by that Braum passive, but luckily Crown was there. Ambition's going to go back in, though. And meanwhile, look at that. All those minions starting to make life hard for ESC up in that top lane.
Yeah, Samsung playing this well, and now they have an opportunity.
Yep, that's right. Baron about half health right now. Wraith looking for an angle. He has that tidal wave if they need to use it. Two-shot barrage comes through, checks it, and the Baron stolen by Bless. Ever got it. Now the fight temp very low right off the bat. A kill for Ruler as he takes out the jungler. Make that a double kill. Crazy on the run. ESC gonna lose this team fight hard. Loken trying to get away. They stole the Baron, but lost 2 people. But, you know, I suppose that's about as good as you could have expected at that point.
I mean, Bless comes in and actually gets the steal off.
Yeah.
That was impressive, but also a misplay by Wraith. He used his bubble super early, and they needed that to keep Rek'Sai out of the pit.
Right.
So that is going to make the life of Samsung significantly harder, as having that Baron would have pretty much ended this game immediately. With the lack of teleport onto Crazy, they wouldn't have had much of a defense against the split push, but now they're going to be able to wait it out for a few more minutes.
Now, do you think this gives Ever enough time to power up?
No.
Ezreal's doing a lot of damage.
They just don't have any map presence. The thing is, with the only one tower down, and the gold deficit that they have, it's dangerous for them to push out. And again, they don't have engage. So how are you going to stop Samsung from just waiting out the Baron and then sieging up or split pushing again? They just don't really have that many options with this composition, besides win lane, win game. And I mean, Bless just sneaks his way in there. 217 HP on the smite, but sloppy from Samsung for even letting that happen in the first place. And Ruler with the aggressive flash over the wall decides not really to go in onto Crazy. Crazy does have the Zhonya's Hourglass, so mitigating some of the damage from Ruler. Ruler has picked up a Mortal Reminder, though, to cut down on the healing.
Yep. Crazy and Ambition going at it. Here comes the Sand United. They've found a play onto Crazy. He's in big trouble. There's Zhonya's trying to wait for Key to get there, and he has. Exhaust onto Crown. They still get the kill onto Crazy in the end anyway. And now Ever trying to back off. Tidal Wave comes through, doesn't connect with anybody. And the chase, they're after Key. They're going to get him. Braum ultimate used at the last second. Not quite sure what he was trying to set up with that, but another one fight for Samsung.
Yeah, they find the collapse. Use the Shen ultimate yet again just to get more people down there faster. And now they can really start to push up. Now it's okay to dive and to push through. Baron buff is gone, and ESC with some pretty long death timers. Interestingly, Samsung not actually going to end here. Remember, Elder Dragon will be spawning.
And that'll be a big dragon for Samsung. You know, the regular buff is great, but increasing the Mountain Drake and Infernal Drake buff should help close it out pretty quick.
That's the point where you can dive just because you can take down the turret so quickly during the dive itself.
And you're doing so much damage, too, to the champions.
Yes, you are. Now, Samsung could set up for that. Cuvée without ult or TP, though. It's Oktoberfest for Ambition.
It's Oktoberfest every day for Ambition. When he plays Gragas in League of Legends, obviously.
I'm so jealous you got to go to Oktoberfest last year and I didn't do it.
It was great, man.
I've never been to Oktoberfest in Germany. I wanted to go very badly.
A week before Worlds, I was prepping in Germany at the EU office. Went out to Oktoberfest one of the nights. It was awesome. It was really fun. I connected to 50% of my heritage that night.
So half of Doha was quite pleased?
That's right.
How did the other half feel?
The other half was like, you should really try Lutefisk sometime. And I was like, no, shut up, other half. Tonight, it's about beer and sausage. I don't like to listen to the Lutefisk side.
The Lutefisk side is no good, huh?
I've smelled that. It's not good.
It is nasty.
Yeah. I went to a college with a strong Scandinavian heritage, and they had a Lutefisk dinner every year. You just stayed out of that building on that day.
All right.
Oh, Crown. Good damage onto Key.
Just looking for that initial poke. Seeing what they can get down with the sigil from LeBlanc, but really just need to start doing this while they have that bottom wave pushed. Shot barrage down, not going to find.
Well, it shows that Samsung's not doing the dragon yet, at least.
Well, they're just waiting for this split push to take hold. Crazy not in the top side to deal with Shen yet, and now the Azir turret's down, so they get the mid push going once again, and now they're going to do it. So Samsung just waiting for the stars to align with the minion wave pushes of the Azir turret. They're going to get this very quickly with that Mountain Drake.
And that should be enough now for Samsung to end this game pretty fast. You'd think they'd be able to do it.
Well, you'd think, but minute and a half until Baron, so it looks like the Elder Dragon buff will work nicely and chain immediately into a possible Baron attempt if we see the game go that long.
Yep. Great. Uh-oh. Nice. Lands the Aqua Prison. Crown goes in. Not really finding a big opportunity there, but they don't need to overdo it. In fact, they need to not overdo it. They need to keep pushing methodically. I'm good at this analysis here. I should switch roles. They need to not do the bad things to win the game.
Yep, that's it.
Got
Nailed it.
Yep, we're done. We're done here. You can go home.
I think we are done here, Doa.
I think we're done with this game, yeah. Not done with the series, though. Gragas goes in for the body slam. Whoa, takes out Loken. Not bad. And Samsung should be cruising to a Game 2 victory here.
That Infernal Drake damage plus the
Oh, yeah.
true damage burn is a hell of a thing, and Loken not going to be surviving for very long as a squishy 80 carry.
Yeah. The Wraith effect, man. Wraith gets put back in, and this is what results.
Yeah, he makes Samsung great again.
He did make Samsung great again, didn't he? Not the baseball cap. Kube still hanging out in the enemy base for some reason. He is caught up. Tidal Wave comes through, blocked by Braum, but they still get the Aqua Prison onto Key and Bless.
Why is Gragas the one split pushing in the top side right now?
I don't know.
While his teammates
I
and
don't know.
Shen are all on that side of the map. Shen has 2 globals available. Crown has 1, yet Ambition, the tanky member, or one of the 2 tanky members, not there and going through a ridiculously inefficient split push by himself.
Well, see, you just got to come at him from a direction they don't expect.
The old confusion tactic.
Nobody expects the split push from Gragas.
I am thoroughly confused by it, Doa, so it's working.
Well, trying to catch him. Slowed down. Here comes Bless. This Gragas is pretty tanky, but it looks like they might have found a kill here. He actually flashed. There's a Braum ultimate. They're using quite a bit. Stand United brings Kube in. Crown right there gets exhausted as he tries to do some damage. Ruler and Rave. The Gragas, it was all an elaborate bait. Crazy pops at Zhonya's, flashes away when it ends though, and Loken trying just to stay alive too. Tempt. Can't really do much damage to Kube. And yeah, so it basically an elaborate bait to get all the summoners out of ESC ever. I see what Ambition was doing there. It all makes sense.
He should be the Swain, the tactician of this game, I guess, Doa.
He really is.
He was 10 steps ahead.
All right, it's fighting time. Ults are down for ESC ever, but they're going to try to stop this Baron. Samsung backing away from it, and so for the moment, Ever has prevented this Baron.
Eventually, somebody's going to have to go back and actually save the Nexus.
Yeah, looks like that's going to be Key. No.
Crazy used his TP right there, and that means that this dance is going to extend for quite a while. Crown did take a lot of poke from Loken to start things off, but somebody's got to go back, clear out super minions.
Yep, eventually. Ping's going down on the super minions from Samsung, so they know that they can just kind of wait it out, wait for that pressure, and sure enough, they do have to send Crazy back to deal with that. Jabraj checks it.
They're really worried about Bless this time.
I know. They're like, not again. They're going to wait. Crown, actually, zoning on the outside. Samsung taking their time with this Baron. Sivir ultimate use. They're just going to chase Ever away. They do not want a chance to
They're
lose
really
this one.
mad at Bless.
Yep. Like, all right. It was all clever bait to kill Bless. Mission accomplished. He blocks the tidal wave yet again, but can't block all the damage coming in. That's going to be another kill for Samsung. And with this team fight win, they should be able to end the game right here, you think?
Not going for the Baron, just turning off of it, take out the Azir turret, but I think they're going to go back and actually finish off this Baron, Noah.
That's what I said. You know, they should be able to finish the Baron off right here. And who knows what's going to happen after that.
Who knows, indeed.
Well, there goes the Baron.
Farewell, Baron.
Bye. Hardly knew.
So now, perhaps, Samsung can go through with the remaining split push with the Shen and take down the last two inhibitors as Samsung just sews up this game, barring some sort of disastrous tower dive that they might attempt.
Yeah, it's possible. I suppose it could happen. Stranger things have, or I should say more disappointing things have happened.
I don't think they're going to happen in this game, though. I think
think
Samsung is playing pretty methodically.
Well, even if they do try to perform some crazy dive, they're so far ahead at this point. It's tough to imagine them losing that fight, even if things go horribly wrong. Crown doing a good job of taking chunks out of Key. All right, there's the on the hunt. They're going to go in. Turret falls immediately. Ambition misses that body slam. Tidal Wave comes in. Ruler just able to do tons of damage from the outside of the fight. And Ever already backing off. They really have no chance of this one. Exhaust on the Crown doesn't really matter. That is going to be about it as ESC Ever tries to defend their base, but we are going to go to game number 3. Zoned right back into Fountain. There goes the Nexus. Samsung, they put Wraith back in. Pick up a pretty easy win. Be one-sided in game 2. GG.
Yeah, we've had two really one-sided games in this series so far. In game 1, Samsung only got 1 kill. In game 2, ESC only got 1 kill. But the night and day difference between Wraith and Core JJ seems pretty evident. I also like how Samsung adjusted by first picking the Shen in this game.
Right.
And really using it well with the double TP. Cuvée certainly stronger when he's able to be a tank and sort of play with pressure on the map.
So, game 3 will be the order of business after the break. And man, after those first 2 games, I want to say it could go either way, but I feel like if Samsung keeps Wraith in, they'll probably be able to pick up the win on this one.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Core JJ back in tonight. It is important for Samsung to continue picking up wins so that they can stay in the top of the standings and make a playoff run, which eluded them last season at the very, very end.
I mean, the question is, like you mentioned earlier, last season we saw game score become such a big issue for Samsung, keeping them out of the playoffs. It's interesting to see them kind of giving up some games to put Core JJ in here. Surprising choice by Samsung either way, win or lose.
Absolutely, but Crown had a hell of a game on LeBlanc, as we come to expect. His first LeBlanc game of the season. Nice to see him return to one of his best picks.
That's right. So when we come back, we'll see if Samsung can get that match win that they need pretty badly after a rough few matches previously, or if Ever will take definitely their biggest win of the season if they're able to take down Samsung. Don't go anywhere, guys. LCK Summer on OGN is going to be right back right after this.